So this is my first attempt at creating a MinecraftEdu world for my students to use. When I first heard about Minecraft, I thought that it had a lot of potential for the classroom, that there were a lot of educational things that could be done with it, but I couldn't imagine how you could focus the students and how you would have enough control over the Minecraft world, the Minecraft game, that you could keep students focused on what they needed to do. And then I learned about Minecraft EDU recently. And Minecraft EDU is a group of teachers took the Minecraft game, and these are teachers that played Minecraft. They took the game and they modified it to give teachers some tools that let them put in educational things into the game and also some controls to help the students focus and do what we as teachers need them to do. So I'm going to log into this world, and I'm going to log in as myself. And the first thing that you have with Minecraft EDU is when I go in to log in as multiplayer, I'm going to connect, and this is actually the current address of my server. The server is my teacher computer. I'm playing this on one of the student computers in my classroom. And my server address is going to change because each time I log in, uh, I get a different address for my computer from the district. But the students just need to know which address it is for that day, and they type that address in here. When they go to join server, they're not joining a server that's out on the internet somewhere. They're actually just connecting up to my teacher computer. So that's the first kind of control. When I log in, if I said I was a student, I could connect right now and go right into the game. But I'm going to say that I'm a teacher because I want to use some of the teacher tools. So when I say I'm a teacher, of course, I need to put in a password because my world is password protected. So students can't log in as a teacher and change things and access the teacher controls. So I'm going to log in and I'm going to come into this world at the spawn point. And so you can see the rain coming down. I left weather effects on in my world, and so sometimes you'll see it raining. I did stop the time so that it was daylight all the time, especially for this recording. But I can actually make the time stay daylight, or I can let it go from day to night. It cycles through. And the rain will stop here eventually. But it's raining right now. If I look up here, this is my spawn point. This is where you come into the game. And the first thing you see is a sign that says turn around and talk to Abraham before you start. Sign right here. And that's kind of, it's something I'm working on. When I turn around, I see Abraham over here. When I get closer, I can see he's the giver of information. That's his title. And I worked hard on getting Abraham to stand right where I wanted him to and to look in this direction and stand still and not move all around. And then I found out that when my game spawned me in, it faced me this direction. So my workaround for right now is just putting this sign here to say turn around. Hopefully I'm going to figure out how to get Abraham to turn around, or to so I can put myself spawning in back here on this side of Abraham, but then I end up talking to his back, and I really didn't want to do that. So I'm working on that. So when I come up to Abraham and I click on him, he's going to give me some information about going to look at the examples first and to talk to the other people when you see him. And this world, because it is set up for my classroom, it's set up in 6 groups because that's what I have in my classroom. So groups 1 to 3 go over and talk to Faith. Groups 4 to 6 go talk to Gavin. And I did that mostly for crowd control so that as the students logged in, they would go to the correct area, and I wouldn't have 30 students in the same exact area at the same time. As it is, I think it'll be a little difficult with Abraham here, but I think that students just need to see him the very first time they log in, and these examples are very first time, so it may be a little difficult and students may have to wait so that they're not kind of standing on top of each other. So I'm going to tell Abraham thanks, and I'm going to go over here, and as I go back, here are the signs telling my groups where to start. So if I go over here, I can talk to Gavin. He's a perimeter expert, and he tells me about how to make a perimeter model. I'm just clicking down here to go to the next dialogue. So he tells me about what it is and how to make it. I can ask him to repeat it, or I can say, that's fine, Gavin, I'll do that. I look at the 2 different perimeter models that show a perimeter of 14 squares. Back here, Priscilla's going to tell me about volume. So she gives me the information on making the layers for a volume model. I go back to Mario. Here's my area model, and Mario's the area expert. He gives me information on making that model. And back here, Sandra wants me to talk to her before I leave, and she tells me about the three areas, Volume Valley, Perimeter Plaza, and Area Arena. I can start wherever I'd like to, and I can check off the areas in my assignment log. I'm logged in as a teacher, so I don't have that assignment log, but students can actually bring up a log that tells them what activities they should be doing. And when I ask her what I should do when I finish, she tells me that I want to go talk to Amaya because there's another activity to do. And I go back to turn around to get to the building areas. So we go back out the front here. On the other side, groups 1 to 3 have the same information. Over here, starting with Faith, they have the same information. And if I go back here toward the middle, I can see Area Arena, Volume Valley, that's the final building activity, and Perimeter Plaza. So if I go back over to Perimeter Plaza, I can see that there's a section for each group. They're numbered. So group 1, of course, I can go into group 1 section over here. I can talk to Logan, who's my perimeter pro, and he gives me my first activity and tells me to alternate the colors, make a perimeter of 24. And when I look in this chest, here are some materials to use to create my models. As I go back through here, here's another one of the tools that MinecraftEdu gives you, the information block. This is just to get the students' attention. And on top of it, here's the information to make the next model. And as students go through, they see a couple of information blocks. And I tried to make each activity a little bit harder than the one before. They're much easier to do if you have a group. So it's set up as a group activity. And so if I go in and use one of my teacher tools and go to creative mode and I press my space bar, then I can actually fly a little bit. So I'm going to fly because my area is pretty big. I used just a flat world and put some trees in around the outside and put all these walls in and these fences. Might have been a better way to do it. Maybe I'll look at, over the summer, I'll look at a different way to navigate around because it can be a little bit confusing. I know where I'm going, but students it's going to take them some time, I think, to figure out where they're going. But if they follow the signs and they come back in toward the middle here, then they can follow the signs and I can go over to the area arena. So I'll go this way, and that's just coming through the middle here. Of course, students can't fly, but I get to fly because I'm the teacher. And if I come in here, and this would be Group 4's area, and it's just basically the same thing that Jesse talks to me about area, and he's going to tell me what to do using the blocks from the pile. There's some pickaxes in the chest, as I found out that students weren't going to be able to move these blocks very well without that, so I added those. And I can go through and go to the next area, and it tells me, oh, I think I filled in my area here. I'm going to need to go back in and make an opening. These particular blocks are another one of the MinecraftEdu features, and I can pass these blocks by, but the students actually can't, so I'm going to need to make an opening for them. Apparently I closed off that opening. I'm going to need to make an opening so I can actually make it right now. I can clear out an opening for them. Students can't do that, what I just did. Students, they're not able to move these blocks at all and they can't get by them. So it keeps them in their own area. So like this is a building area of another group, of group 5. Group 4 can't pass over into their building area. They could go through the front entrance to it, but it's just kind of designed to keep them where they're supposed to be if they accidentally move into another area. So each one of these information blocks here, they're planting flowers in an area. And if you open up this chest, then they've got different flowers in there that they can plant. And then the last area, the last section of this area they're making an array, and I've had them, given them some more difficult parameters that they have to get. They're more than 30, less than 60. Length is exactly twice as long as the width. That's going to take some work for the students to get to. And then my last area is over in this area with the trees. I'm going to go to the front of the area first and come down over here with Guillermo, who's one of my volume verifiers. He's going to talk to me about the first volume activity, and my information, all my tools are here, my pickaxes in case I don't have one. Then I can go back and look at the other volume activities. I am not very good at moving around in the world yet. The kids will be much better than I am. This one has, you need to use even numbers on the four sides. And again, they have materials. And then in this one, I added a little something. I planted trees in the area. So the students have to go harvest these trees. And then their information block tells them to go trade wood with another group so that they have two types of wood so that they can alternate the pattern so it's easier to see the pattern. So just giving them a little something different to do. And when students are all finished with the activities in the three areas, then they can go back to the beginning with Abraham over here and with Amaya. I'm thinking of putting a teleporter in so that students can just get back here a little more easily. But Amaya tells them if they're finished, congratulations, you need to look at your instructions. So I have written up instructions that tell the students to create a group house that needs to have a living area and a room for each person, and there's parameters. The rooms have to be a certain area, and they need to make flower beds that have a certain volume and plant flowers in them in a fence with a certain perimeter. And then these traders right here, these NPCs, if I click on them, they have stones and wood. And so if I need that stone and wood, I can go to Caden. Isaiah will give me some stained glass or clear glass that I can use in my house. And you got furniture and flowers, all the different things that you need. And here are the areas. I just gave students a big area blocked off with the barrier block so that they stay in the right area. And they're going to build their house in this area and use the skills that they've learned. So hopefully this is going to be a really successful project with my students.